everybody. Here we are, Monday the 11th of May, so we're going into our 8th week of lockdown. And I hope, as my daughter said, you're all staying alert. Okay, so today we are going to, this class is going to be suitable for if you're heavily pregnant, and we will have at some point variations, so there'll be a choice. So we're going to start off with some standing, but before we do that, we'll just do a little bit of warm up. So just check you've got a little bit of space behind you and around you, and we're bringing our feet hip distance. Just bend your knees a little bit and just think about bringing the weight, let the weight drop down onto the floor. Just really feel that connection with the ground. Rolling our shoulders back and down. That's it. And then we're going to just push into the floor to bring ourselves back, bring our legs straight again. And again, exhale, just breathing and bend your knees. You can maybe bend them a little bit more and just feel the weight, feel the connection of the soles of the feet down. Okay, and then we go a little bit more, just bring your hands forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, and come up to straight. Inhale, let's bring the shoulders up to our ears. Exhale down. Taking that into a rotation. We're breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. So we're rotating the shoulders, Richard. That's it. And then changing direction. So down, back, up, forward, back. Lovely. And then from there we're going to just finish with back and down. Take our arms out to the side, bend the knees a little bit. Inhale, stretch up, hold for a moment, exhale down. Bend the knees, inhale, straighten, stretch up. Hold and down. Inhale up. Reaching up to the ceiling. Exhale down. Let's change direction. So bend our knees. Inhale. Straighten the legs. Stretching up. Crossing and back. Stretch up. Reaching up to the ceiling. Crossing and back. Reach up, hold, and down. Great, lovely. Right, we're going to just do a little circle, so just make sure, as I say, that you're not going to bang anything. So we're going to just circle the arms, and as we do, bend the knees. Nice and gentle. Changing the circle. That's nice, Anna, lovely, that's it, bending the knee. So you can have the circle more forward, or if you want to, you could make it a little bit more up, which is a little harder work. And release. Right, we're going to just do one circle, just going with the right arm. So we're just circling the right arm. Circle, just right arm. Soften the knees as you do that. And change the direction of that circle. Breathing. Lovely. And then we'll circle with the other arm. So make sure you've got space behind you, that you can get that arm behind you without banging into anything. Change direction. Keep the knees a little bit soft, so you're not locking in the knees. Crunch, crunch. Lovely. Let's give the arms a little shake, and we'll try that with both arms. So take the arms out, inhale. So it's a bit like doing a backward. Is it a backward crawl? I don't know. No, I'm not a swimmer, but some of you will know. Shoulders down, away from the ears. So really involving the upper back. Good. And we'll take it into the other way. I think this is a butterfly now, isn't it? The butterfly stroke. When you bend your knees, try and keep the knees coming straight forward. Keep the shoulders down. Whoa, one more now. Okay, one, and up and down. Great, that's a nice little warm-up, isn't it? Right, let's take the feet wide, 3 feet something. Well, 2.5 feet. And then stretching up through my left arm in this case, sliding down. So you're wanting to think more about going up, and then if there's any sideways movement, you can do that. Stretch up with the right arm. See how high you can get your right arm. And then if there's any slight sideways movement, you can slide down. Breathing. Whoa, and release. Good. Okay, right, we're going to take our belt. And we're going to make a loop with our belt. Now or you can indeed hold it like that, but loops are good. So if you see where I'm going to put my belt around my wrist, which is where most of you got a watch, so might be better not to have a watch on. Now, for some people that is going to be too tight, so you can adjust your loop. That's what's great about these yoga belts, is normally you can adjust them easily. So if you need a wider belt, it means when you're pushing against your belt, you're not straining in your shoulders. So we're going to now take the belt behind us, pushing into the belt, sending our fingertips down to the floor, rolling our shoulders back and down. Good. And then if you like, you can, that feels okay for you, you can begin to let the chest go back, if that feels okay for you. Now, you can use the wall, you can have your hands on the wall to give you a little bit of support. And then just let your chest open. Breathing. Breathing. Keep pushing against your belt. Make sure your belt's not too tight. Three more breaths. So you're really sending the sternum up to the ceiling. Lovely. And release. Great. Okay, so we'll just do one more. Yes, well, you can do this, Anna. Take the feet wide apart. Maybe, and then we're going to just bend the knees. Bring the hands onto the knees. And then if it's possible, you can bring your elbows onto the knees, but if you prefer, if it feels more comfortable, then maybe keep the hands there. And if you're not, if it's fine for you, you can have your hands on the floor. So whichever we're doing, we're bringing the weight over to the right foot. So you can have elbows on the right knee, you can have hands by the right foot, or you can have hands on the right knee. But whichever you do, what we're looking for is a stretch in that inner left leg. You need to be wide enough that you're going to get that. Go on my non-slip mat. So just lovely. And then we're going to transfer the weight over to that other leg. Bring the knee over the foot, and just we're getting a little stretch. So you can stay high, no need to don't make yourself uncomfortable. And give yourself lots of space. Nice. And then coming back to center, bending both knees. Bring your hands, one on each knee. Just hold that for a moment. And then we're going to push the hands. Use the strength in your hands to push and straighten you up. Lovely. And then back. Good. Okay. So we're going to try our tree pose now. So we're standing with the back. You can have the back to the wall if you need, or you can have a chair handy if you need one. So we're going to stand on the right foot. Well, actually, this is my left foot. Stand on the left foot, bring your right foot up. So wherever you can get your heel. If you can get your heel all the way up, then that's great, but it may be that it is more fitting above the knee. So just wherever. A light touch on the wall behind you. Let's roll our shoulders back and down. Breathing. Now spread your arms out to the side. Turn your palms forward. Then just bring the arms out like this. So that's enough. If you're pregnant, then that's enough. But if you want to take it further, then you can bring the arms up. Dropping the shoulders down away from the ears. Remember what I've said before, that when you have your arms above your head, your heart is working harder, which is sometimes going to put too much strain on your body if you are already working hard because you're making a baby, or if you're recovering from an illness. So that's always something to think about, rather than maybe not doing a pose, is doing it, but leave the arms below, the same height as the heart, or lower. Great, and release. Okay, so ease that gently. And we'll go up with the other leg. So bringing left heel to right. I mean, now ideally, you want to avoid your hip going too far to the side. So you want to think about bringing the hip towards the heel, and then the heel resists. And it's always easier from one side than the other to get that straight leg. That's looking quite good. That's nice, Hazel. Okay, so we're breathing. Really spread your arms out a bit, Anna, and open the chest. That's it. Feel the support of the wall. So if you just want to keep with the wall, that's really nice, but you're still getting a lovely chest opening going on. Or you can let go and have the arms out, and then those of you that are taking the arms up, drop your shoulders down. And palms parallel, arms parallel. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Both arms straight. Breathing. Lovely. And release. Good. And then just ease out. So notice how hard your standing foot has to work when you're on one foot. You really notice that you're having to move your foot a lot. And the reason for that is because your foot's finding the natural way to align in order to balance. But because when we walk on two legs, 2 feet, I mean, we can get away with bad habits because the other foot stops us falling over. But once you're on one foot, you have to readjust your foot to work in a more efficient way. Okay, right, from there we're going to do a little trikonasana. So we're going to have a chair or something which is a good height for us. Now, if you're quite flexible, you may go a bit lower than a chair. So in which case, if you get some blocks or something like that. My pupils all know in class we use the trusty toddler step. It's very good to give you a bit of height, and also it doesn't skid, which is very useful. Okay, so once we've got that sorted, we're going to take our feet 3 to 3.5 feet apart. And then we've got our chair nearby on my left side. We'll go to the left first. Now we're turning our left foot to face our chair. Now this right foot is slightly turned, but just bring it a little bit forward, and that'll help your hips. And then we're going to hinge from the top of that left leg. So we're keeping this left side really long, in fact the same length as the right side. So then we're hinging to reach our chair. So we want that to feel really comfortable, and I think you can have your legs wider apart, you know. And then we're going to rotate our trunk so your back is facing the wall behind you. And you just feel really secure with what you're holding on to. And then if that feels okay, you can just float this arm up. So using the wall to help you. And then, yeah, obviously if you can go lower, then you know you can do that. But don't be in a rush with that. You'll feel it more in that left leg if you go really low. Now, if you find that you're tiring, you can just drop the top arm, but keep your legs working for a bit longer. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And then we're going to inhale just to come up, bring the feet back to the center. Great. Right, so let's change the direction of our chair to do that to the left side. So we've got our legs wide again, and you can adjust your legs depending how you find that. If you find it really sore on your legs, then perhaps be a little bit closer. But if you didn't really feel much going on in the legs, you can go a little bit wider. So right foot now towards the chair, and left foot slightly turned, and then just bring that left foot slightly forward. More so the heels are lined up to give your hips a little bit of room. So we're going to hinge from the top now of the right leg, and then just bring the hand down. So you're going to feel that probably up the inner thigh of that right leg. So use your chair to give you the support, feel the support, and then we're going to rotate so the back, the shoulders are parallel to the wall. And then you can just let the arm come up. So we'll just take the arm up for a while at least. Really lengthen out of the top of that right leg and bring your weight more onto the hand. So you use the hand almost as another foot to put, pushing the hand, using it to support you. And then if you tire, you can just take the hand down. Some of you can go more. Just walking the hand in to take you lower. And indeed, if you're very flexible and that's not a problem for you, you can take your hand on your leg. So don't let yourself tire. It's better to hold a nice position with the arm down working the legs than to overwork. So when you take the arm down, keep the shoulder back, but keep lengthening out of the top of the right hip. Breathing. Breathing. Lovely. And then we're going to inhale, coming up, turning both feet. Walk the feet in and then bring the feet together. Lovely. Okay, so we'll take the chair back to the other side, to the first side. So we're going to go down to the end of our mat. And we're going to have our feet hip distance and then just slide your right foot forward so your feet are staying on the same tracks. So there's a gap between the lines that your feet are on. Now just turn your back foot out a little bit more, so turn it away from the center towards the wall, just a fraction. And then see if you can rotate your hips to face to the chair. Now you can use your chair as a support if, show you. We're going to bend our right knee. So this is warrior one. And if you like, you can just use the chair as a little support for your elbow, just so you feel really confident and safe in that position. And then you can just let your knee drop a little bit more. And we're breathing. That's it. If you feel comfortable, you can bring the arms up. But this is quite a strong one. It works hard, really a lot. It's quite strenuous. So if you're heavily pregnant, I would recommend that you don't take your arms up, but just enjoy, work the legs, feel that back leg, really going back, the back heel hitting the floor, dropping down. So you're working in the thigh and in the buttock, the glute. Breathing. Let's do a couple more breaths. Shoulders away from the ears. Lovely. And then inhale. Come back. Great. And then just ease out before we go to the other side. So we're going to face the other way. Both feet parallel. We're sliding forward now with our left foot. Turn our right foot. Turn the hips to face to the end of your mat, bending that left knee. And then you can use your chair as a support. So the chair's on your left side. You're really pushing back into your right heel. Keep the body open, keep the spine up and down, vertical. Those of you that want to be more strenuous with this can take the arms up and drop the shoulders down away from the ears. This way. Just make sure you've got your legs wide enough for you so that you can get the knee is in line over the ankle. And as I say, this is quite a strenuous one, so if you find you're labouring with the breath, you can drop the arms, but just try and hold it a little bit longer with the legs and use the chair to support you, if that helps. Breathing. Breathing. Nice, you feel a nice stretch in the front of the in the hip flexor. Good, and then inhale to come up. Great, and then we just move the chair for the moment to the end of the mat. Okay, so we'll just do a little Uttanasana now. That's a recovery position. And again, you may want to take a few blocks So we've got our feet hip distance, and we're going to hang forward over our chair. You can have the elbows propped, and then let the head drop between the elbows. And just allow the breath to recover. Now, obviously, if you're super flexible, you can go lower and just let your head hang. But especially if you're quite pregnant, you don't want to go low because it's going to squash you. And what's really nice is to get a little bit of height for your elbows, and then you let the crown of the head move in the direction of the back of the chair, and let your shoulders move back behind you. So you're getting a nice open chest, and you're getting lots of space in the abdominal area. I'm just breathing. And use the arms, make sure that your hands or your arms are supported so that the weight is being spread through your arms and legs. Okay, lovely, and then gently coming up. So come up halfway, and just come up halfway. Keep the hands down, but see if you can really bring your sternum forward and the shoulders dropping away from the ears, and see how long you can make your spine. Send your sit bones up to the ceiling. Shoulders rolling back and down. See if you can get that feeling in the upper back, the thoracic spine. So you might need to be a bit higher, Richard. Ah, that's it, Anna. Lovely. So really enjoy that stretch. Then just bend your knees slightly and see if you can let go without falling. Catch your hands and then squeeze your shoulders together, and then gently come up and then release the hands. Lovely, that's nice. Lovely. Yeah. So we want a chance to open the chest, so that's really good. Right, I think we'll go down to the floor now. So we're going to find a comfortable sitting position. We're going to sit with a little raise. Use my bolster. If you have a bolster, they're jolly nice because they're very supportive and they get you a nice height. So ideally when we're sitting, we want to have our knees lower than our hips. So for some of you, you might need to get up a little bit higher. What you can do is use your step as a sort of starting block and then put cushions on it till you get the height that is sustainable. So it's not a question of sitting down, oh, I can cope for a few moments. It's a question of sitting down and finding this feels quite nice. So let's just send the hands out towards the knees and think about from sternum, from pubic bone to sternum to come nice and long. Also, if you think about the back of your waist, just let the back of the waist settle behind you. So rather than pushing forward with the back of the waist, which is then putting a lot of pressure on the lower spine, just let that back waist settle back. And if I show you sideways, this is especially important as you get when you're pregnant, because as you get heavier in front, you tend to, the tendency is to then just let this lower back come forward. So I don't know if you can see that. So what you want to do is bring the back of the waist back. Let your sit bones really descend down, and then as you descend your sit bones down, you'll get a feeling of lift up through the spine, and then you think about the crown of the head also lifting. And that way you've just started to engage your core muscles, and you've started to engage your pelvic floor. And then let the shoulders roll back and down. Lovely. So we're just going to hold that for some breaths. Just enjoy that feeling of a nice straight spine, shoulders relaxing. And we're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. So let's now take a breath in as we exhale. Getting our height, just going to look to the right. Back to center, exhale. Look to the left. So as we do that, we're going to keep that going. Just as you go to the right, just slightly push your left hand against your left knee, just to take your head around a little bit more. Inhale back. Exhale, push your hand against the right knee. Just rotating a little bit more, not just your neck, but you're beginning to bring the sternum into that turn. Keep these sit bones descending. Exhale, turn, keep the back waist settling back behind you. Now you can start to, as you turn to the right, pushing the left hand against the left knee, and take the right hand back behind you as well. Let the hand align with the right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Yeah, watch that back waist. I think that's just watch your back waist there, don't hollow. Exhale. So each time you go, you might just be able to go a little bit more. Exhale. Take. Inhale back. One more to each side. Nice. So I hope you're all feeling how you were engaging your core. So you were hopefully all just slightly drawing the core in towards your spine. Right, okay, so from there, let's take our legs straight out in front of us. So you can stay up on your block if that's helping you. So we're taking our belt again, but you want to yeah, just take away the loop. And just take your belt around your feet. So we'll have our feet parallel and about hip distance. So send the heels away and use your belt to support you, and you can lean slightly back. So you're distributing the weight through your arms, as your arms are helping you by pushing you forward. Now lift up that crown of the head, lean back, bring your chest forward, and we're breathing. Send these sit bones down. See how long you can make your spine. If you find that quite hard work, just lean back a little bit more till you can find that's not hard. It's not so sore on your back. Now, those of you that are quite flexible can walk your hands down the belt. Now, if you are heavily pregnant, you'll probably find you need to just take your feet a little bit wider to make space for your bump, and you can push against your belt and just try and bring the tummy forward. Keep your legs working really strongly. Breathe, roll your shoulders back and down. One more breath. You're still working the heels, sliding through your heels so the toes are pointing up to the ceiling, and then we'll release. So let's now bring the soles of the feet together. So this is called Baddha Konasana. And then we'll just loop our belt around our feet so we can hold the belt. Roll the shoulders back and down, opening the chest. And we're breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. So if that's easy for you, you can dispense with your belt and just catch your hands under your feet. And then bring your chest forward, roll your shoulders back and down, just allowing the knees to drop to the side. Breathing. Let's see if we can do 2 more breaths. So really catching your foot, sending the sternum up, rolling the shoulders back and down, dropping the knees. Keep the chin, don't lift the chin like that, Hazel. Drop your chin. I think I said 2 more breaths in my bit. That's quite enjoying that. And then release. Lovely. And then we'll just ease out the legs again. Just give them a little shake. Okay, so we're going to take our right foot up now, and the right foot up, left foot out to the side. So with that right foot, we're going to make our turn the other way than we normally would do. So you've got your right knee up, your left leg straight, you're taking the right hand inside the right leg. Now keeping that knee pointing up to the ceiling, just push against your knee and turn over to the left. Nice and tall. But don't let your knee go, keep that knee resisting the arm. And then just really turn around to your left hand side. Get the height, beautiful, tall spine. And the left heel, keep stretching left toe up to the ceiling. So lean back a little bit if that gets you into the upper back better. So you feel it in the thoracic spine, opening the chest. 3 more breaths. Lovely, and release. Right, look, so there's plenty of space for your bump to do that, and it's a really nice turn because it actually gets into the upper back, which, you know, we can get quite humped. So it's counteracting that. So we've got our left knee now pointing up to the ceiling. We've got our right leg out to the side. We're stretching the right heel toe pointing up to the ceiling, and then try not to get cramp. So we're bringing the left arm inside that left knee, pushing against the knee, and then that gives us the rotation round. And then we're looking around the right shoulder. Just watch that left knee stays pointing up to the ceiling. Breathing. Always lean back a little bit if you need a bit more space to get that rotation. And then release. Great, and ease out. Okay, so now we want to bring ourselves in front of our chair. We're going to do a little squat. So you may not need a chair, but you have it there in case you do. So we can use our blocks, or, you know, whatever, bolster or something, to put under our heels so that we can go into a little squat here. Now obviously you need to have your knees wide, and then you can have the chair to help you lean forward a little bit so that you're not sitting on your bolster. Have your feet, you know, at least about 8 to 10 inches apart. And then just see if you can bring your toes so they point forward, and you're wanting to try and bring the weight across your toes, spread across your toes. Yeah. And then if that feels okay, yeah, just use your chair to support you just lightly. And then if that feels okay, you can begin to see if you can descend your heels. And those of you that haven't got a big bump can go lower. Bring your elbows inside your knee, push your elbows against your knees. Lovely, and then coming back to our chair. So if we can now sit back on the left heel, and then bring your right hip, bring your right leg, so you're bending. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. Go back a bit. So what we're doing is bringing that right leg in front. I'll just change the angle. So we're bringing that right leg in front, and then bringing your right leg in front. So what we're doing is bringing that right leg in front. I'll just change the angle. So we're bringing that right leg in front, and then bringing your right leg in front. So what we're doing is bringing that right leg in front, and then bringing your right leg in front. So what we're doing is bringing that right leg in front, and then bringing your right leg in front. So what we're doing is bringing that right leg in front, and then bringing your right leg in front. So what we're doing is bringing that right leg in front, and then bringing your right leg in front. So what we're doing is bringing that right leg in front, and then bringing your right leg in front. So what we're doing is bringing that right leg in front, and then bringing your right leg in front. So what we're doing is bringing that right leg in front, and then bringing your right leg in front. So what we're doing is bringing that right leg in front, and then bringing your right leg in front. So what we're doing is bringing that right leg in front, and then bringing your right leg in front. So what we're doing is bringing that right so you can see. So if you can do it with your left foot bent behind you and then your right foot in front. Now, if that's not working for you, drop, I'll give you an alternative, and then drop your left hip down. We're just going to stretch up. So it's a really nice hip one. Now I know for some people that's going to be too strong. So if you're, as long as you're not pregnant, heavily pregnant, you can just lie on your back and just go in, take your right ankle in front of your left knee. And you can do that one while the rest of us are doing this. So you've got your hand on the chair and really let your left hip descend. Try and have both hips evenly balanced. That's it. Shoulders away from the ears. Lovely. Breathing. Breathing. The reason to use a chair, which it helps you to keep your keep square, keep everything aligned. Great. I don't know where you feel it. I'm feeling that in the left hip. And then we'll switch legs. So we're going to bring the left leg into like half cross leg, and then the right leg is into so you want to let your right hip descend. And if you're doing legs on the chair, if you're on the floor, then switch which leg you're doing. And then just have your hands lightly on the chair so you get a nice straight spine. And you'll notice by putting the hands on the chair, it's helping you to stay straight, and you'll feel that you're dropping into that right hip, and then you'll feel it in the right hip. Yeah, so you can imagine you've got a chair, good point. Drop your shoulders, and you want your shoulders to be aligned with the hips. We're breathing. Great, and then release, and then everyone just stretch out your legs. Okay, so we're going to, there's a choice now, we're going to just do a little wind down. So if you are not lying on the floor at the moment, then you can use your chair and just prop yourself up. And then just lean forward. You can find a block to support your forehead if that works. And just, yeah. Okay, well, everyone can do that. It's quite a nice position. And then just let your head relax. Let your forehead relax. So make sure you're high enough up that that's not going to give you trouble. Nice. So you've got some support. Arms. So yeah, find something to lean on. And then let's just change the cross of the legs without disturbing ourselves very much. So just change the way you're crossing your legs and then go back. So you get a chance to stretch evenly. Breathing. And then release. Okay, so so if you're heavily pregnant, you're going to now sit against the wall. So if you find your comfortable position against the wall, making sure that you're raised, your hips are raised, and the rest of you, we're going to go onto the floor and take your right ankle in front of your left knee and just bringing your left knee towards you till you feel a right glute stretch. And if you're using the wall, you can be leaning slightly against the wall so you're really comfortable. Both knees bent, slide your heels away slightly and then just bring your right ankle up. And then you can hold that, and that's giving you this exactly the same stretch, but in a more sustainable way. You might need to make sure that you've got something non-slip for your foot. And breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Just try and soften into wherever you're feeling it. Soften and release. And then we'll change sides. So if you're using the chair, if you switch leg, and if you're using the wall, we're now taking that left ankle. Now you may, if you're using the wall, you may need to slide your cushion away so that you can lean back into the wall to give yourself plenty of room, and you can also slide your foot further away or nearer, to just find the right position. So just so you're feeling that in the left glute and in a way that you can actually soften and release into it. So we're breathing. And if you're lying on the floor and catching your foot, catching your leg, see if you can keep your shoulders in line with your hips. So you may well need to have something underneath your head. Lovely. And release. So from here, if you want to put something on before we do our little relaxation, then this would be the moment. Now, we're going to converge here. So if you're needing not to lie on your back, then at this point, if you just lie on your side and make sure you've got a cushion under your knee and a cushion under your ear. From this position, then we're just going to do a little, begin to bring your left shoulder towards the floor. So you're getting a little lying down twist. So for those of you that can lie on your back with comfort, then you're going to bring your knees up and just let your knees go over to the right as you keep your shoulders to the left. And you can use your roll to land on. Just keep that going. So if I go back to the pregnant version, you're lying on one side, your knees, in my case, I'm lying on my left side, and then you're just going to see if you can do a little rotation to bring your right shoulder towards the right. You get a little bit of opening, no need to go crazy with that. Nice, okay, so if you're lying on the floor now, you can bring your knees up, roll them to the left, and if you're doing this position from the side, then rotate the other way. So now I'm facing on my right side. I'm using a cushion under my head. I've got a cushion between my knees. Get a nice comfortable position, and then we're just going to think about opening that left shoulder towards the left. I'm not going crazy, just a little opening. You can use your hand on your shoulder just to remind it which way it wants to go. Breathing. Allowing the breath to come into the body. If you feel like taking a deep breath, just letting that happen. Lovely, and then inhale. We can come up. So if you're doing the pregnant version, then choose which side you prefer to lie on, and you can go back into that side for your relaxation. Getting as much height as you need for your head, for your knees, and then just covering yourself up with the blanket so you're nice and cozy, and then relaxing like that. And then if you're not lying on your side, you can lie on your back if that's okay for you. You can pop something under your knees. Allowing the knees to flop each side. Toes, your soles of your feet are kind of facing each other. They don't have to be touching. And then you can use a cushion under your head if that works, if that makes you feel more relaxed. And then we can just put a blanket over us. And then just letting yourself relax. Or relax for 3 or 4 minutes. Just noticing the rise and fall of your breath. Feeling the weight of your body descending a little bit more heavily onto your mat with every exhalation. Okay, and if you're watching this unrecorded and you want to relax a bit more, just pause me. For those of us doing our live class now, if we just begin to bring our awareness back to our body, moving the fingers and toes, just stretching the arms and legs. Just have a little roll over to one side. Take a moment on one side. And then just when you're ready, if we can slowly come up to sitting. Lovely, and then let's just finish together. So if we bring our hands together and just notice the feeling of your hands one against the other. I'm going to put our thumbs against our sternum, against our heart. Just notice for a moment the warmth of your hands, the connection of your hands. Let your shoulders drop. Okay, lovely. Thank you all.